you, Nell. Thank you, Amy. It's a pleasure to be here. I just want to say hi to my colleagues from our Consular Corps and special guests that are here. And I'm going to give you a first-hand look into how one starts the process of visiting this establishment and then the end product of getting the shipment to your country. But before I do that, I'd like to introduce you to two very special people that I brought with me. These young ladies were the core and the backbone helping Nell and helping me and really getting things going from my office, and that is, I want to introduce to you Ozben and Alu. They work with us diligently. I just want to recap a little bit how this happened to me with my experience here at MedShare. Nell had invited me as just a member of the Consular Corps to come, and they were honoring a gentleman who had donated some large funds from New York. So I came, and I looked around, and I walked in, and I saw just what you're seeing now, all these barrels, people sorting, and then I saw flags and flags and flags. So you know me, I start walking around, and I'm looking for the Turkish flag, and I didn't see any Turkish flag. So after the program, I went up and grabbed Nell, and I said, Nell, why is there not a Turkish flag up here? And she said, well, that's because only the countries that we are shipping to will have their flag put up. And we don't ship to Turkey. And I said, well, why not? And she said, because nobody ever asked. And that started the process. And I said, no, I'm asking, right? How do we start this? What do we do? And then the process began, and I learned all about MedShare. I learned about what was involved and what you have to do in order to bring it to your country. And I would challenge all of my colleagues from the Consular Corps to please look into this very worthwhile cause. And let me just tell you the Turkish side of what happened. I looked into sending a container, but I really thought in the beginning that I would contact private hospitals, needy hospitals in Turkey, and say, okay, there is MedShare in Atlanta. If we pay $20,000, which covers all of the transportation costs, the cost of doing business, then you will receive a 40-foot container of medical supplies. Now, once the money is handed over to MedShare, you will receive a password to get onto the MedShare inventory list. Therefore, your hospital will be able to select the products that you really need. Well, it sounded wonderful, but in reality, it didn't seem to move in that direction very well. Someone came to me, a Rotarian who was going to sponsor this, and said, what are you doing about customs? And I said, what customs? Oh, he said, customs are definitely going to be involved. So that put us about 10 steps back, and we did find out that indeed if there was going to be goods that were given directly to a hospital, that in our country, customs would have to be paid by that particular hospital. So after due diligence of research, what I found was we have the equivalent of the Turkish Red Cross, which is called Kızılay, or the Red Crescent. They are autonomous from the government. They are exempt of paying customs duties. So I went to Turkey and I met with the president of that organization. And I have to tell you, he was a little bit leery. He said, what are you telling me? You are going to pay this company $20,000, and then you're telling me that you're going to ship me goods on a 40-foot container worth from $150,000 to $200,000. And I said, yes, that's exactly what we're going to do, because we are the American Turkish Friendship Council, and one of the things that we do are humanitarian issues, and this is coming under humanitarian issues. And he said, well, okay, we'll go ahead and let you do this, but I'm really not sure of what kind of goods you'll be sending me. So I said, trust us. And therefore, we had Ahu working on it. We had Ozben, who really took over on this project. And it does need somebody, I think, to follow it on whatever side your country, whatever country your side is, and with MedShare. There are forms definitely that have to be filled out. And this just comes as part of doing business. But eventually, the $20,000 was paid. The password for Kızılay was given to Kızılay, and they started selecting whichever supplies they wanted or needed. And then the goods were shipped to Kızılay. And Ahu and I, this summer in June, went to Turkey. We went to Ankara together. We met with the people who received the goods from Kızılay, and I have to tell you, they were so delighted with working with MedShare, with seeing the products that came, in what great shape they came, how necessary it was for them to get these wonderful, most of them new supplies, and they looked at Ahu and I and they said, now that we see what this is all about, we want to go ahead and we want to at least have 4 to 6 shipments a year. So that's basically what we're up to now. That is in place, and of course anybody who knows me knows I don't want to stop there. So I'm leaving actually Monday, and I will be visiting our Minister of Health in Turkey, in Ankara, in September, and I am going to sit down with him, and I am going to ask our Minister of Health if he can help us by either accepting the goods from MedShare directly or taking away the customs duty that individual hospitals will have to pay. So I give you that little piece of advice. You know, you might have to do a little due diligence in speaking to officials in your country, but it is so worthwhile. And again, I just have to thank everybody here. It's been a pleasure to work with you, and I look forward to working very closely with you in the future. Thank you.